Welcome back to theyoungministry.blogspot.com to another podcast out of the book of Galatians. Today we're considering Galatians chapter 1 verse 10. Say hello to my friend Jason over there. He's here joining me today. How's it going, Jason?
Good. How about you?
I'm doing well. Jason's
glad to be a part of this.
Jason is just he's my making sure everything is working right on the sound end and just doing my background checks. Check. Can you hear me good?
Check. Testing. Get out a piece of paper. Testing.
Galatians chapter 1 verse 10 reads, "Am I now trying to win the approval of human beings or of God? Or am I trying to please people? If I were still trying to please people, I would not be a servant of Christ." Again, that's Galatians chapter 1 verse 10. The third word in this verse in Galatians 1:10 is really the first word in the Greek sentence. This word "now" draws attention to the authenticity of the Apostle Paul's conversion. You'll remember back in Acts chapter 9 where he was apprehended, blinded by Jesus so that he could see. There were other Jews in the church at Galatia who had come down from Jerusalem, accusing Paul of throwing out the sacred Old Testament requirements that made anyone right with God. But the problem with their theology is that it had been long incorrect and not biblical. These people from James in Jerusalem were teaching that one is saved by believing in Jesus plus certain good works. On the other hand, Paul was teaching that all men, including the Gentiles, are saved by simple faith. Faith in the Lord's Messiah, the Lord Jesus Christ. Nothing else can make one right in God's eyes but the perfection of Christ applied to the helpless, believing sinner. You know, there's a mentality common among Christians which suspects grace. They suspect it to be too easy. This mindset distrusts anything that appears to be too tolerant and not sufficiently difficult or demanding to gain God's acceptance. The underlying assumption is the more demanding and higher the price of piety, the more likely it is to be of God. Pride is at the root of the comment that suggests that one can preach too much grace or that one could earn in any way God's favor or even maintain it. Contradictory to this attitude is the fact that biblical Christianity is founded upon the unmerited and undeserved grace of God for those who have no ability to please God. The grace of God, the grace of the God of the Bible, is distinct to the Christian faith. You may be surprised to know that Jesus never used the word grace itself. He just taught it and he lived it. No other religion emphasizes grace the way the Bible does. Grace is such that it releases us not only from sin, but also from shame. Grace is the most important and most powerful concept in the whole world. Donald Gray Barnhouse once said, "Love that goes upward is worship. Love that goes outward is affection. Love that stoops is grace." You see, grace is most needed and best understood in the midst of sin, suffering, and brokenness. And we live in a world of earning and deserving, and these result in judgment. Only grace makes us alive. Paul wrote in Romans 5:8, "God demonstrates his own love toward us. In this, while we were still sinners, Christ died for us." Understanding this foreign expression of love is what frees us to fling caution to the wind in serving Christ. And when we have become the recipients of this radical and life-changing reality, we will be stirred by a heart that has been set free from self in order to serve the very one who laid down his life for us. Grace is the opposite of karma, which is all about getting what you deserve. Grace is getting what you don't deserve and not getting what you do deserve. Christianity teaches that what we deserve is death with no hope of anything else. In this verse, our text for today, Paul turns the tables on his opponents. It was not that he had begun to be a man-pleaser since his conversion, but that he had ceased to be so. As a zealous Pharisee, he was a man-pleaser. He had not been converted. He would still be a man-pleaser. Or had he not been converted, he would still be a man-pleaser. When the grace of God arrested his life, he radically corresponded to the radical one who now defined him by his radical concept known as grace. Why not be defined by grace 24/7? I know it's easier said than done. The options are to be defined by much lesser substantive things. The liberating grace of God frees the believer from having to worry about pleasing anyone, including God. It brings wholeness to our lives so that we are no longer looking for something else to satisfy or to fulfill us. My friend, I trust these podcasts are helpful to you in your walk with the Lord. If I can be of any help to you, feel free to shoot me an email at beyoungministry@gmail.com. Have a great day.